Yeah. So, first of all, they're uh, rah, violent, aggressive sales um,
Hype.
strategy, methodology, whatever. It doesn't really have anything to do with what this company is selling. It's almost definitely somebody that read a book about sales or then went to a seminar and a bunch of seminars and a weekend thing if you look into it, you'll probably figure out, oh, this is the famous person that sells that, and that's their pitch. And this person is just saying, well, I have a thing to sell. It happens to be this, so I'm going to make my company do that. Almost definitely, it's grafted on to the company because somebody really believes it, and somebody saw charts and colorful graphs and met somebody that had a fancy car, so they assume it works. So it's almost definitely it. Uh, if you're invited to share the methodologies behind your successful approach, which you've stated are by not doing what the company strategy is, I would say that you're risking your job with anything that you say that is counter to what they do.
That's
In other words,
exactly
they
what
say to
I'm
do
worried
this,
about.
but I've found I do this instead. While that might give you results, that might unnecessarily provoke or challenge or insult the people who are in charge who have this idea, even if that's correct and healthy and appropriate and stuff, it might not be healthy for your job. I would say, look at here's what they have me do, and there's a few things or a bunch of things that I do that are counter to that, and therefore my results, and therefore they want to hear from me about why my results. Rather than cover those, say, here's the things they have me do, and there's a bunch of things I do counter that, but there are some other things I've done in addition to what they have me do that are not counter to something they told me to do, they're just in addition. That would be the focus of my talk. Because
Okay.
then
Fair
you're
enough.
only saying, you're not, nothing that you say is, they told me to do this, but I do this, and look at my results. That may be true, but somebody might be insulted or challenged or whatever. I would just say, what I've done in addition is da 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 da. And it might be one thing, it might be two things. Like you said, the poise practice and a posture, poise, and
Present.
presence. Yeah. I wouldn't say, I might say poise, posture, presence. The
That
only
is how I
reason,
say it. Yeah.
yeah, because if you say posture, poise, and presence, poise and presence, poise and
Oh yeah.
present.
No, it's actually
Well, yeah,
poise,
it just might be
poise
heard
posture.
differently. Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate
But
that.
I would like that doesn't sound
Poise
like
and
that's
posture.
that doesn't
That's
sound
funny.
like it's counter to anything.
No,
But you could
it's
probably just say, what are productive, simple ways that I can get across what is poise? What does it mean? Not necessarily Merriam-Webster, but what does it mean? And then how do I access it or remember it, recover it, or build it up when you get out of your car? And it could just be taking a breath or whatever it is. And then posture, same thing. How do you do it? Or whatever that looks, I don't know. And then presence was the last one, same thing. But like state them, right? And it's pretty easy. It's alliterative, right? PPP. But then, okay, like how do you access them, right? Whatever that is. But then that's your whole thing. Like I would just do
oh
that.
boy, that's
Like
good.
that's your thing.
That's really
None of
good.
that's counter, right? Um,
You're right, and that is what was bothering me. Is there isn't anything like this throwdown stuff is not part of the script,
later
but
on,
it's how they're teaching
later
it.
on, if you're involved at another level in the company, and there's another opportunity to develop training or to like, you have your own group that you're, tasked with getting to, that's fine. And hey, I'd like to try this other way of sales. Like, great. But I would say that particularly if they are rah, violent, kind of think and speak, anything that might be insulting or chesting or challenging or even not doing it or disagreeing or counter to it might be met with that kind
You're
of,
right.
which is where they might just cut off their nose to spite their face and get rid of you even though you produce. Like, I don't know what they're like exactly, but I would just say do nothing that's counter in terms of what you're teaching, So, for example, when you get pulled over by a cop, and the cop goes, "Do you know you were going 40 in a 25?" And you're like, "Yeah, I know, but the thing is, my sister's in the hospital, and this is her second miscarriage, and I need." Now, the cop might choose to let you go. They might arrest you. They might give you a ticket or a warning. Like, they have options, right? But what the cop hears and is trained to hear is you admitted, and then you said other stuff. But they got you to say that first, right? So that's why he should not say that. So if you are on record as saying what I don't like or agree with or even follow, which is the company policy, which is repeated to me ad nauseum, you're saying, I disagree with this in front of the,
That's
like,
part of
and it could be the sort of thing they're like, you know what, forget it. And it could be, who knows? They could be like, this is brilliant. Let's change the whole company culture. Who knows? But I would just be aware of that.
It's actually somewhere in the middle. They will not react badly to me because they love the results and they like me. However, it's not wise.
Right. They might like the results, but they might not like you.
They won't fire me.
They might not like. Nobody wants to come home and find out that the babysitter said something counter to what both parents always tell the kids.
Yeah.
And so you saying in front of them to the kids, the other employees, something different, that might be how they react badly. And it might be down the road. It might not be like they immediately fire you, but it's like the opportunities change.